So what you doing?
I don't really know. 6.3.
Should I be scared?
6.3. I don't know if we'll feel through that now. Oh well, when I turn the key, that should go. Okay.
What did you break on it before?
I don't know.
Did like a wire blow?
Go over here. This is the same thing with that. Oh, this shouldn't be live at all. At least barely.
At least?
Yeah. See if I can like wedge this in here so it just.
So what next?
I gotta probe around.
You.
What's this?
I don't know. Why are you
That's
asking me?
6.3. Well, actually, I'm talking to myself, Megan.
Rude.
Just a probing. Just a probing. Is this live at all?
I'm scared. Wait, what is it supposed to go up to?
What did it say?
0.02?
What about now?
Now it's 6.29. He almost ran me over!
One to the left. Okay, stop. Turn it off. Move. Stop it. Okay, I'm ready.
What are you ready for?
You to hook it up to the battery and see if there's current going through.
What are you doing that way for? Can you see the reading? The reader?
No, I'm touching it. You're reading it. Megan's turning on the car and pressing the button.
I am?
Yeah. Here. Take it down there.
Am I actually?
No, I'll do it, Megan.
Hey, Connor.
What?
Okay, anything?
Anything?
Yeah, anything there?
No.
Anything?
It went to 0.12. Oh. Okay, it's not good. It just jumped to 4 for a second. Wait a second.
What?
Oh.
You got it on the wrong
I got
thing?
5.7.
What do you got?
6.30.
Dang! Back out again with those buttons!
My button works, the ignition works.
It's just because you don't believe.
Look at that spider web. Look at that.
Looks like cotton candy. So, it is Friday today, but I would just like to take some time to explain to you what did happen on Wednesday. Wednesday morning, I woke up pretty early to go to Connor's before school, and I was pretty tired because I had my first full week of school, and then on the weekend I had work, so I was pretty tired, and I got out to the car, and if you didn't know, I park on a bit of a ledge and about 8 feet, I'd say, down to the next level, and then a few feet over is my house. So I was up there in the morning, and again, practically half asleep because it was 7 and I had woken up at 6 something. So I got in the car and put it into what I thought was reverse, but it wasn't in reverse, and so I had turned the wheel all the way to my right to turn out of my parking spot and leave as usual. And so if you didn't know, I've had my N for about 3 months now, I'd say. I got it in March, and that car up there is my car. It's not my parents' car or anything. So I was all ready to go, and I guess what happened was that my wheel was up against the curb. So like, here's the wheel, here's the curb. So that instead of feeling the car move forward a little bit and then going oh crap, and putting it back into reverse, I didn't feel it go forwards. And because my car is a bit of an older car, sometimes you have to press on the gas a little bit before the gas actually kicks in and the car starts moving. So that's what I just thought had happened. So I was turned backwards and pressed on the gas until the car was moving. And so by the time that I noticed it was moving, the car popped over the curb, and after popping over the curb, there's only about this much space to brake. And even if I had put my foot on the brake in that short amount of time, it probably wouldn't have worked anyways, because my car is in a 4-wheel drive and it's all really loose soil, so it would have slid off anyways. And then at that point, I was rolling down a rocky cliff. It was so scary. The only way I can describe it is if you've ever been on the Indiana Jones ride, think about like that, how it's just rocking you back and forth and it's crazy, and mix that in with a dream where you know that something really bad is going to happen, but you can't stop it. Because I have imagined going off that little ledge so many times. It's basically one of my fears. Every single morning I would double check that it was in reverse, and that's the one morning I didn't double check. When I was going down, I just thought I was going to hit into my room, because my room is the side of the house that's right by there. I thought I was going to crash through, and everything was just in slow motion. I thought everything was in slow motion, and my mind was going like a million miles a second, and there was just nothing I could do to stop it. I just kept on thinking, how come the brakes aren't working? Why aren't the brakes working? But it's because I wasn't on the ground. It was seriously the scariest thing ever. So once the car had landed, it was practically vertical. I don't really remember how I got out of the car, but I pretty much immediately turned off the car because it was still running, and then I realized I couldn't get the keys out, and later I realized that was because I hadn't put the car in park. But of course that's not something you really think about, like, oh, I crashed my car, let's put it in park and take the keys out. So because all the doors were locked, I had to jump down the rock wall and go to my front door and knock on it for my dad to wake up, and he was sleeping, so I was knocking super frantically, and he opened the door, and all I could say was that the worst thing ever had happened. The worst thing ever happened. I was so scared, it was so embarrassing, and he comes out, his face was just, and he was like, Megan, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine, but my car, it's up there, how are we gonna get it out? I need to go to school, I need to go to school, I need to go to school. That's all I could say, is that I need to go to school. Out of everything, that's all I had to say. He was pretty calm about it. He wasn't mad, obviously, because it was just a huge, terrible accident. It wasn't anything that I had planned to do or was doing to hurt anyone, to hurt myself. It was just a fluke accident. And he called the tow truck. The tow truck came, and he just brought a normal, like, flatbed tow truck. And he said he would have to go and get a different tow truck because that one wouldn't be able to lift my car out, because it was literally like this. The funny thing is that he said, oh, just so you know, it's going to cost a little bit extra. Do you still want to go through with it? And it's kind of like, nah. Let's just leave it there and paint it, and it can be a little mural. Like, yeah, of course we want to get it out. Like, even if it doesn't work, we need to get it out. It can't just stay there. It was like huge eye catcher to everyone walking by. So we had to wait for him to get the other truck, and it was really scary while he was waiting because it could have tipped over. It was really scary. So him and another guy come, and the older guy was pretty sure I was not going to be able to drive it after that. It just looked so bad. And the younger guy was like, oh yeah, just strap the bumper on, it'll be fine, kind of thing. Then when the second truck arrived, it was like basically a crane attached to a tow truck. They attached 2 chains onto what I think is called the shocks. Not the shocks themselves, but like the bar with the wheels and the shocks on. They started pulling that out, and there was a rock underneath it, which basically saved me from tilting over this way. So because the wheels were turned, instead of going this way and then flopping over into the house, it was like this, and it could have flopped down this way, but there was a huge boulder like stuck underneath it, kind of wedging it there. When they were pulling it out, one of the other concerns was that the rock was either going to dent the bottom really badly or like rip into the bottom of it when they were pulling it up, and there's like a lot of rocks around that area anyway, so that was another concern. So when they were pulling it up, the rock just slid out really nicely. They had pulled it up. And you could see the complete underbelly of the car, and there wasn't a dent on it. It was so surprising, and I was so thankful. But as they were pulling it up, there was liquid dripping from the front of the car, and that made me a little nervous. But it must have just been water because we have an irrigation system. So that was just water. It was a clear liquid, and nothing inside of it was broken. They got it up. And they were so surprised. There's a huge dent in it to begin with, and my dad popped it out, and they checked under the hood, and it seemed fine, and they said, okay, well, I guess you can drive it. So that was super duper lucky. If you look at my parking spot, there's steeper parts, and then there's one part that's kind of slanted because there's just one odd rock there, and that's the part I went down, so it was a little bit less impact, and also I didn't have any speed. It was just going over the curb and down, so, and then into really thick dirt, about this thick, so there wasn't that much damage to the front of it, which I'm really lucky about. It just looks a little bit twisted and crooked now. So after they left, my dad and I drove it to a auto place fixer, just so that we could get a second opinion and get it checked out to make sure that nothing funky was going to go on with it when I was driving it to school one day. And they said that nothing was wrong with it. I was super, super lucky. One, that I didn't get hurt and it didn't flip over. Two, that my car is fine. I don't know, I'm just so super lucky. And then when we got back, our irrigation sprinkler guy that we hired was actually working next door. So he was able to come over and take a look at the ground where I'd hit, because there is sprinklers there. So he turned on the sprinklers, and literally, I'm not kidding you, this far away from the giant hole that I made, there was a sprinkler. And then after that, me and my dad went out and got a no parking sign, because people do park up in my parking spot, which is not only annoying, but now that that's happened to me, it could happen to anyone. I mean, obviously some people have more experience driving than I do, but it's just a simple mistake. It doesn't really have anything to do with how good of a driver you are. So we don't want to be liable for anything like that. And also, if they damage our house or our sprinklers or anything, then they would have to pay for it, because it clearly states that it's private. And another thing that my dad did for me was get super duper heavy cinder blocks with sand in it, so that if it ever happens again, I'll just crash into it instead of going over. One thing that all of you can do to make sure that if anything happens, you are safe, is to wear your seatbelt. Because if I didn't wear my seatbelt, I would have crashed through the windshield. With all that force, my muscles were so sore just from holding myself still with the seatbelt on. So, I'm serious, a seatbelt is a lifesaver. You never know what's going to happen as soon as you put your foot on the pedal. So I know some people who put it on halfway down the street, but really, as soon as you get in the car, before you even turn the car on, put on the seatbelt, because it could have been the difference between being completely fine and walking away with it with nothing other than sore arms and legs, to being in the hospital with a head trauma because I went through the windshield. Scary stuff, make sure you're wearing your seatbelt. My parents were super nice throughout the whole thing, and I mean, things happen, and after they've happened, you can't change that they've happened or not. You can just change about how you deal with it and how you choose to move on with that experience. I chose to look at it now as a story to tell people and something to better myself and to teach myself, whereas I could have kept it a secret and made up a lie about it, because it is kind of embarrassing putting your car in drive instead of reverse and something like that happening. It's really embarrassing, but it happened, it is what it is. But yeah, super lucky.
Megan?
Do you like my shoes?
What?
Do you like my shoes?
They're mine. Unless you don't fit them, it sounds like you're dragging your ass. What are you doing?
I'm helping.
Well, you're laying on me. Can you go?
I'm helping you.
You know where the shop is?
Yeah.
So, underneath my brother's boombox, the first drawer on the top there, there'll be a thing.
What?
There'll be stuff in it,
Okay.
right? And if you get off me, there'll be an extension. Looks like this. See it?
Yes.
See it? Remember it?
Yes.
Look for this, but longer.
Okay,
And
bye.
if you can't find longer, just get me another one of these. Doesn't matter the size.
Okay, bye. What the? What's this? I don't really know what Connor was talking about. But I found some nifty gloves. So, I think we're done here. Connor!
Hello?
I could not find anywhere with those, but look what I found.
What?
Gloves.
You didn't find it.
No.
You know how I said underneath the boombox?
Yes.
Alright.
It's locked.
What's locked?
The drawer.
Really?
Yeah.
Megan, has anyone told you that you're a vegetable?
Yeah,
So,
a couple
where's the
people.
boombox?
Right there.
Yeah?
What the heck?
Oh my god, there it is!
No, but... Okay, well, you could have told me how to open it. Look at this.
No, Megan, okay. You look like, oh my. Au revoir. Or bye.